all. Thank you so much for celebrating Pride with the San Jose Museum of Art on Facebook First Friday. I'm Melanie Samay, Director of Marketing and Communications at the San Jose Museum of Art. We support and celebrate our LGBTQI+ community and the ongoing struggle for civil rights. Tonight's event is hosted by Alpha Andromeda, drag queen extraordinaire, and Gabrielle Antolovich, board president of the Billy DeFrank LGBTQ+ Community Center.
Aw, thank you, Melanie.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
You look absolutely gorgeous tonight. Yeah.
So, welcome everyone to this.
The Facebook First Fridays in partnership with Billy DeFrank Center and Silicon Valley Pride. The lovely Marcela, Pardo, Ariza talk about some of the art that she's been working on. She has a lot to say, girl. So, Marcela, are we here?
Yay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
So hi everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm super stoked to share a little bit about my work. So I'm just gonna start with this project. This is a photograph that I did with my chosen family, Davida Distizabal, that lives in Mexico City. And a lot of my work is about collaboration and how we are never taught to know how to collaborate. So it's really messy sometimes. There's not really a protocol to do it in a right way. But I like thinking about that because you kind of build the trust in the process as you go. In the 2016 election where some dude got elected, I really started thinking about who protects us. And I really wanted to honor our chosen family. So this is a little bit of like honoring that, like the importance of kinship and celebration and chosen family. And I like it because it's so hard to define. There's something, like kin is sexy, is sweaty, is full of tears, is so complex. And I find some beauty in that, in the complexity of how we shape our interpersonal relationships with people that we consider family. Here's another one. And, with this body of work, I also wanted to talk about how you can belong through a material. So here I was using denim, and later on I will be talking about leather a little bit. And this is another body of work that was part of Bay Area Now at Yerba Buena Center for the Arts. And for this one, I was just kind of looking through the archives, the GLBT Historical Society archive. And I was really blown away by all these like queer histories that existed in this place together. And so I asked some of my friends to pose with some of these people from these archives, and I was looking to kind of bring them back to reality, so that to show that history is non-linear. I really like this one. You see both of the frames hugging in a way, and you see Bruno and Marcus holding each other. And this project really made me think about the importance of intergenerational connection, especially in the queer community. And also how, we always have to honor those who have walked the streets before us, especially in regards to like civil rights and queer rights. So most of the images that we see in public space are advertisements that try to sell us something. And I think it's so important for us to make images that represent like our daily lives and the people that we love in ways that we want to see them. After doing that project, I also wanted to invite a lot of artists to do a book together. So me and Irwin Smirnov put an open call for artists to submit work about queerness, family, and kinship. And we did this publication, which is sold out, but you can see it in my website. You can download it, you can print it, you can give it to a friend, you can give it to a lover. And we just wanted to create this publication to kind of show all of the different stories that there are about chosen family. And there's still so many more to share. I just wish that I had seen a book like this when I was younger. So I hope that like it gives somebody else some sort of perspective that I was missing. I wanted to give this shout out to John Foster Cartwright, who took these Polaroids of the people that work at the Stott. The Stott has been around for so many years, and it was a bar that for me really brought so many feelings of love and family. And it it recently closed in its current location, and I know that the collective is working to open up a different bar, like at the start in another location. So if you're able to support them, they have a GoFundMe for the Stud in Exile, and they're trying to do programming that supports like queer nightlife that we all love. So that they are looking so cute. This is another body of work that I just wanted to talk about. That's about more like tenderness and belonging through a material. Again, talking about like BDSM and desire and touch. And I really wanted to kind of bring up that idea of tenderness and like consent, and even in BDSM scenarios. We always talk so much about pleasure and intimacy, and how we wish that we had learned about sex in different ways. And I think they're doing an incredible work at talking about all these issues and the ways that we experience interpersonal intimacy, and the ways that we can communicate better, and the ways that we can feel more things that we could have ever imagined. So check out their work. They're really doing amazing work right now in Mexico, installing it at the San Jose Institute of Contemporary Art. And this show was curated by Christine Copes, and it was really beautiful to be part of it, just because there were so many other photographers that I deeply admire, such as like Jamil Helu and Erika Demon and Tammy Ray Carlan and Stephanie Sihuko. I really thought this was such a historical show where like so many generations of photography and queer photographers were kind of in conversation with one another. This is a poster from the 1970 that is called Touch One Another. And this poster used to be distributed in different queer bars, or like just bars, where the way of showing solidarity was the way to show that like queer people existed was through touch, and through demonstrating that there is love outside of straight love. And I find this really beautiful. There's something about this act of solidarity of touch that was happening in these bars in that time. And it's really interesting to think about that, how it has changed, right? So in this moment, touching one another is no longer an act of solidarity, but is the opposite. And I'm really drawn to how history kind of changes all of these aspects, and like how solidarity can look very different ways in different moments in time. So because of this poster, the curator David Evan France did an exhibition at the Palm Trees Art Museum that was called Touching History, which was a celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall riots. And this exhibition was also really intergenerational. I put the names of the artists here, but I had admired Joey Cherrill for a very long time. And also I got to meet Robert Andy Combs, who's doing also incredible work regarding disability and desire. And I really encourage you all to look at his work as well. So talking about touching history, I'm currently working on this project that's gonna go up on Market Street in San Francisco. And it's a series of posters where I've taken some images from the archive from past Pride parades, and I'm kind of printing them life size and making cutouts out of them, and asking people in the queer community to be a part of them, to have a moment of transhistorical kinship. So for this one, I wanted to include Ismael Fafana, who is like an amazing drag queen, and also Betty Towers, who is part of the House of Towers. And both of them I got to meet in San Francisco, but I've also been in like queer camp with them. So we've known each other for a while now, and I really respect their work. So I just wanted to involve them in the project. Here's another example. This is Nicole Santamaria. She's an art therapist, and she's currently working at the ELA para Trans Latinas, which is an amazing organization in the Mission District. And interestingly enough, she lives with a lot of birds, and she considers animals part of her kin, which I think is really beautiful. And so for the photo shoot, she wanted to include La Mochi, which is the bird that you see, to kind of have this like duo of different folks, human and non-human, kind of like kinship depicted in this forest together. I'm very moved by this project and very moved by people's willingness to participate in it. I think as we think about the 50th anniversary of Stonewall, we need to acknowledge that the times that we're in are historical, and we need to think about our queerness differently and about pushing for the changes that we want to see. This is a photograph, part of the same project with Jampy Star, who is an incredible dancer from Puerto Rico. He lives in the Bay Area and is part of Axis Dance, which is an incredible organization that promotes dancing. And I just met him recently because I had seen his work for years. I had admired his work for years when I was working at YBCA. So it was really beautiful that we got to connect because I think that we have a lot of things in common. I'm excited to collaborate with him long term.
First of all, I'd love to say that I love the focus on intergenerational queerness. And in a way, we're kind of bringing that today.
I know, it's so sweet.
It's really cool. I really like seeing your kind of movement from denim to leather in a way. Was there any like decision behind that, or was it just kind of a natural flow that you kind of changed the material that you were working with alongside the same sort of theme?
I think, I was thinking of Melongian first, and then I think I also was getting a little kinkier as that was happening. So that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also started working in leather, so that was really fun.
Ooh, very cool. Yeah. Was it your intent to convey a Latinx experience and queerness through that, or did it just kind of come naturally through like, this is what we're all going through with COVID closures?
Well, I think it kind of became organic in the sense that it was the places that we were already going to, which happened to be Latinx owned, queer owned, women owned. So that kind of led the project to grow on its own. But what was really beautiful was to see how each one of these businesses was putting this language already out there. And we were just asking to be like, can we say what you said like louder on your business so that the people that come to see it, your business regularly get to have that kind of connection with the place, even though it's closed.
You mentioned the stud. Stud was a very, that was a very special place. But as you said, they are continuing to raise funds for wherever they open their next location, wherever it happens to be, whenever it is.
It's an amazing space, amazing people. It really is.
Gabrielle, do you have any questions for Marcela?
Oh my God, that was incredible because...
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. For a while, the kinky community kind of denimed themselves over in the 70s and into the 80s and went underground in the 80s with the leather and and all kinds of stuff. And then in the 90s came out of denim into the leather more in public. And so that made sense to me.
I like that.
Yeah. And, every minority starts off in the closet somehow. It's really nice to sort of see it in art because art is the emotional expression of activism. And it's really important to have art because that's the heart of activism. That's how, just watching your presentation, it takes a lot of heart and understanding of what's going on with the people, because when you have activists protesting, what the public sees is the anger and outrage, which is very important. But they see the heart that got broken that turned to anger, and that's the thing that art can bring to the table. And that's why I love it so much. The whole thing about touch You know,
Mhm.
we're in the closet, we don't touch each other in public because that is dangerous. And
Yeah.
and then when AIDS happened and everyone thought you could catch it, people, nobody touched people who had HIV and AIDS for a long time. And they were freaky about it. And now we have COVID. You're not allowed to
Mhm.
touch people just because you may want to. And so it's very interesting that you bring that up. Because touching is very important for disenfranchised people.
Just
Totally.
kind
I
of
think is yes.
bouncing
Go for it.
off of that even I thought it was so interesting how you have the cardboard cutouts of older pride photos with someone who's sitting in a mask touching them, kind of reflecting that this is the current state where we can't touch, this is the state where we can. It's so current, it's so poignant with everything that's going on now, and queerness, of course.
Yeah, no, totally. And one of the things about, spending so much time in the archives is that I start to see what's missing. And so I don't see a lot of people of color in the archives. And so I'm also like looking for certain types of documentations of events, and I'm like, where are they? And so now I think that I'm thinking more about what are the documents that we need to materialize in this moment about this moment for like people to come.
Conveying that, and I can't wait to see more that you bring. Is there anywhere that we can go to find more of your artwork right now?
Yeah, you can go to my website, marcelapardo.com, or my Instagram, just Marcela Pardo. And also, this is so lovely. We should all do a little photo shoot together, but that's going to happen in the future. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm so glad you could
Thanks,
be here.
love.
Yeah, you are fabulous.
Likewise.
I'm Laverne Cobb, and you're watching Outlook Video.
Hi, Silicon Valley Pride. We are Evergreen Giving Tree, a group of 6 cousins from San Jose.
This month, we showed our pride and allyship by partnering with the Billy DeFrank LGBTQ+ Community Center, a nonprofit organization that provides support and community services to the Silicon Valley's LGBTQ+ people and their allies.
We visited the center to help transform their parking lot into a space that represents their community and pride.
We hope that this project helps catch people's eye and let them know that the Billy DeFrank Center is always a welcoming and inclusive place.
For the month of August, we also raised funds to provide the center with masks, gloves, and hand sanitizer as they begin to reopen and serve an increasing number of clients.
Thank you to the Billy DeFrank LGBTQ+ Community Center for allowing us this experience. You have inspired us to keep branching out in our communities and to advocate for a positive impact.
We love rainbows! Parking will never be the same with a rainbow in the parking lot. Rainbows are us. This is the rainbow that's an Instagram destination at the Billy DeFrank LGBTQ+ Community Center.
This is our front desk at the Billy DeFrank LGBTQ Community Center. Now, what happened even before we shut down for COVID is that most of the phone calls that come in is for people wanting resources. So during COVID, our board of directors is actually putting together, first of all, a better phone system and better internet, and I know everyone's going to be happy about that. But the big news is that we are launching our phone number
as the Billy DeFrank Resource Line, because during COVID, the phone calls and emails and requests have constantly come in looking for resources. And so we are happy to say that that's what we're preparing for. And the big news will be out there soon.
Hey, I'm Jenny, and this is my partner, Allie. And this summer, we homeschooled a family pod of 5 awesome kids. We did all the lesson planning, including a 2-week Pride theme. We learned about the LGBTQ+ community, read books, and the unit culminated in our own Pride Parade to the Billy DeFrank LGBTQ+ Center.
It's Pride Parade time!
We love to get mail from you. Email us at comments@outlookvideo.org.
To contact us by phone, call 408-293-3040, extension 205.
Visit our website at outlookvideo.org.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/outlookvideo.
And connect with us at facebook.com/outlookvideo.
Good time to take a break? I know, Roberta's my name from Outlook Video. Hello, it's good to see you again. Likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming and being a part of this.
Of course, every year.
Tell us what it means to you, especially with this theme.
You know, every year we have a lot to celebrate, and we have a lot to recommit ourselves to working on in the fight for civil rights and the fight for equality, the fight for justice. You know, what happened in Orlando, we know among many things was a hate crime, and we need to also recommit ourselves to the coalition building that has to happen around also dealing with reasonable gun safety laws in this country. Today is a moment to celebrate and also to recommit ourselves to the fight.
Excellent. Well, thank you for those words and those thoughts.
Kamala, how are
Keep
you?
up the good work. Bummer. That's my girl. Yeah, that's my girl. That's my girl. Yeah, that's my girl. Yes.
Celebrate. We have so much to celebrate. And let's start by just celebrating each other. How about that? Yeah. And you know, let's think about all the strong, broad shoulders we stand upon when we celebrate so much that is about the pride that we have because of the progress we have made and because of the diversity and just the beauty of who we all are. And when I think about the role of San Francisco in this movement, which in so many ways gave birth to this movement, gave voice to this movement, it was about people who had the courage to fight for equality, people who had the strength to know that they may have been the only one in the room, but they represented so many voices and so many groups. Their shoulders that we stand. It is on their shoulders, those who 50 years ago fought on Stonewall and what we had to do against that. 59 years ago when we celebrated the first Pride Festival and Parade on Polk Street in San Francisco. 15 years ago when I walked up those front steps of City Hall and performed marriages because we said, let the wedding bells ring. they were on board with it. But we said, no, civil unions, not good enough. We're going to perform marriages, and that's what we did here in 2008. And then 6 years ago, I was so proud. After we defeated Proposition 8, I was so proud to come right back here to San Francisco City Hall and perform the first marriage of Chris Perry and Sandy Steer. We did all that together. And what is our job then? Our job is to celebrate our success and to rededicate ourselves to the fight, because we still have a fight before us. We will fight to pass the Equality Act in America. We will fight to end HIV/AIDS in America. We will fight for our transgender brothers and sisters in America. And we will always stand together for equality, and no one will be made to fight alone in our America. Because we must answer a fundamental question. Who are we? Who are we as Americans? So let's answer that question to the world and each other right here and right now. America, we are better than this. Restore America's moral leadership on this planet. So, let's do this.
Happy